the climb down over Lineker is expected, with the Daily Telegraph announcing or suggesting that this is going to involve an apology from Mr. Lineker, and that it also involves acknowledging that Tim Davies' authority was compromised because the rules weren't clear. I think the idea that impartiality means censorship is absurd, and that is the area that needs to be looked at. But instead, as so often with these issues, it becomes a matter of authority and a matter of control rather than a matter of probity and openness and proper journalism. It becomes about the BBC and about the power of the BBC rather than about the responsibility of the BBC and the opportunities that the BBC offers to facilitate an informed and structured debate about issues which are important to our national life. And if these things, as I say, are not being raised or countered by the proper authorities in the House of Commons, by the backbenchers, by the opposition, then it falls to journalists and others to raise these issues in a public forum. The idea that we can all be cowed into silence because it's not our job, quote, to speak out. Actually, it is everybody's job to speak out. That is the nature of politics. We all live in the polis, in the city, and we all live cheek by jowl with people who do not share our opinions or our views, and we must learn how to express these views, these differing views, and yet still have a cup of tea with our neighbour. We shouldn't all think that our job, we certainly shouldn't think that the job of politics is to produce a homogeneous entity. We shouldn't all be thinking the same. We should all be thinking with different thoughts. And ideally, that thought process, that movement, should not be sort of catapulted by sloganizing and advertising spiel. It should be a proper grown-up debate with humour, because humour vitalizes and fuels any sort of competitive exchange of ideas, and that is what we're doing. So if we can laugh about it, if we can laugh about our differences, if we can laugh at the silly people who posture and think that their life is more important than ours, that their opinions are more significant than ours, well, we should laugh at them. That's the point of humour, that's the point of satire, and it goes all the way back to ancient Greece. You know, if you go back to, I think it's the Clouds, where Socrates is pilloried. Socrates, the greatest thinker ever, really, is mocked in public, as he should be, but you know, at the same time, we have this amazing resource, the internet and social media, whatever that actually means. It's an opportunity for an exchange of ideas, for a proper debate, for humour, for passing on important messages. I don't think it's a medium where we should just simply be slanging slogans at one another. And the trolling, sometimes the trolling just gets a little bit tiresome, frankly. And the personal trolling of one's family can get a little bit unattractive. But you know, I wouldn't want to censor something because that would stop the other things, and that, I think, is what the BBC has done. It started to produce things for some time now. It's produced things in a formula, and that formula is increasingly boring. increasingly boring, and it takes somebody like Gary Lineker to present his show in his underpants, or to express an opinion that many people are expressing, so that that message can get back to the government that this is not our priority. This is not the priority of the British people. It's the priority of a small group of people who happen to be very vocal. That small group of people who happen to catapult the direction of the debate about Brexit. That small group of people who painted slogans across the side of buses. That small group of people who were not able to negotiate a proper Brexit exit. And we need to get this voice across. We need to get out the fact that there are people who don't. The quiet majority don't share these vile opinions put out by Suella Braverman. They simply don't. The majority of us are not going to be standing on the seashore shouting, "Invasion!" We're not going to do it. Except to mock Suella Braverman. And my goodness, does she deserve mocking.